welcome back to my channel. It is Miranda, aka Mastermind M, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome back. If it's not, today I have a little sit down video for y'all, telling y'all about my entrepreneur experience thus far. So today is going to be some things that I have learned throughout being an entrepreneur. So let's get right into it. So actually coming up next month on September 15th will be my 2-year anniversary of basically being a business owner slash entrepreneur, I guess, because I launched my business on September 15th of 2020, and we are coming up on September 15th. Did I say September 20? September 15th 2020, and we're coming up on September 15th of 2022, but today is just August 21st, so less than a month away. So that's exciting. Just as a little backstory, sadly, unfortunately, when I hit my year anniversary, I wasn't in business. My store was closed. I had a password on it. I didn't have anything to sell because I decided to close my website, close my business, and revamp. And that's when we made the transition from I'm sorry, I had a brain fart. That's when we made the transition from handmade products to manufacturer products. And hold up, pause, wait a minute, because I just realized I didn't do my full introduction. So like I said, if you have not been here before, welcome to the channel. Take a look at the description take a look at the description box below, and it will kind of tell you what this channel is all about. You will see different things, but that will give you the overall idea of what the channel is about, just in case you want to stick around, subscribe, you know, leave me a comment or like or whatever. I would appreciate it. Also, at the top of the description box, you will find your motivational quote. I do those for every video, and I try to post weekly. So I try to deliver y'all some weekly inspiration, weekly motivation. So make sure you check that out. Back to what I was saying. So yeah, so unfortunately I wasn't able to really do anything for my year anniversary because I just wasn't doing anything within the business. But year 2, we are back up and running. We will be in business. We are actually doing a anniversary sale, and I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but I do have a video coming up where I will be planning for it and then walking y'all through the steps of how I'm preparing for it, and just ideas. If you're a business owner out there, you're an entrepreneur, and you want to kind of use my ideas, and these aren't all my original ideas obviously, but just to kind of give you a peek into my brain and how I'm feeling with this 2-year anniversary coming up and what I want to do for my supporters. I do not like to call my supporters customers. I call them supporters. And yeah, so the first thing I want to pinpoint in this video is the fact that entrepreneurship is expensive. It's expensive, and I don't care what business you have. Things add up. That's the thing. It could be so many small costs, but things add up. I don't care if you're selling keychains. If you trying to like legitify, I don't know if that's the word, but if you're trying to legitify your business and you go the official route, like your LLC, you don't really need a permit, your licenses, and then you eventually have to start doing taxes, and you got to pay for your website domain. It's just be so many little charges coming out the woodworks, and that stuff adds up. Subscriptions to whatever you may be using. For instance, I use Canva to make my really anything. I use Canva for YouTube thumbnails. I use Canva for things I may put on Instagram for Blossom Skin. I just use it for a lot of different things, so I went ahead and upgraded to the pro account. But yeah, like those costs, and even though everything, like I said, everything may not be high cost, but those small things add up, because a lot of times you paying this stuff monthly, quarterly, yearly. Like, it's going to add up. Don't think you finna build a business. Now a lot of times people just doing side hustles, like, you know, they're not going the full route of getting LLCs, and that's fine. That's gonna save you some money right there. But if you trying to like legit build a business that like eventually you can like pass down to your kids or something one day, or something that can keep going once you're gone off this earth, it's gonna cost. It's gonna cost. Number 2 is that I cannot do it alone. So I know that's gonna sound crazy because a lot of times in these videos y'all see me and me only doing what I do for my business, but a lot of things have been done with help. So for instance, I outsource different type of things such as Canva to assist me. Well, I guess that's a no-brainer. You're gonna always outsource some type of software, because who finna be making like visuals from scratch? We ain't using Word, Microsoft Word. But anyway, a better example is I have a business mentor that is completely free. So fun fact, there's a thing called Alabama Small Business Development Center, and I'm quite sure almost every state probably has it because it just seemed like that type of thing. But I recently found out that Alabama has this organization, program, or whatever. But once you reach out to them, you find somebody that's near you, like in your city, they will contact you, and from that point y'all will be in contact at no cost at all. This person get paid to do this, but you don't have to pay them anything. So I've had a business mentor, business advisor, whatever you want to call them, but it's completely free. We have Zoom calls. If it wasn't for him, I would have not had a business plan, which is huge with the depths I'm trying to take my business. Like, the crazy thing about it though, I had all of the pieces of the business plan, I just didn't have it in an actual business plan. So he introduced me to that, introduced me to more of the legitimate side of having a business and like getting all my ducks in a row, because I had my ducks but they weren't in a row. I had all my ducks just like sit over here, but they weren't in a row. So like with him, we have our Zoom calls however often we have them, because it's not a certain time, it's kind of up to y'all. And I be on there writing my notes, he be giving me tips, I be having homework to do the next time I talk to him, and it get my ducks in a row. So yeah, that's something I have learned. I cannot do this alone. Like I said, if you're trying to build a business with longevity, you are not going to be able to do it all alone. You're not going to be able to DIY everything. You are not going to be able to take the cheap, fast, none of that route all the time. Like, you're going to have to invest in yourself, whether it's free or spending money. Like, you gotta get to the point where you start outsourcing. So that brings me to my next point. Learn as much as you can for free or for low cost. And this is super important. This is something that I was doing during the quarantine, because a lot of things were just on pause. A lot of time was being spent at home and just really on the internet. And I don't know if this had like been a thing, or it really like spiked during the quarantine. I think it spiked during the quarantine, but like everybody started coming out with master classes. And if you don't know, master classes are typically free. They can be however long, but it's basically like this pre-recorded webinar, or sometimes it's live, where this person is just giving you the whole rundown of what they do, how you can do it, or what they can do for you, yada yada yada. But something that I have learned to understand now, that basically all master classes lead to something basically that you can purchase. So like, they give you a certain amount of information for free in the master class to get you interested, to get you see if you're interested in going that route, and then they present you an offer with whatever they have to offer. And sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, because it's like, okay, see, now you trying to dangle, what's the saying? I don't know, dangle the cheese under my nose or whatever with some information. But some information, they give you enough to be like, okay, you know, I enjoyed the masterclass, but you just made it clear to me that that's not really the route I'm going. So And that's fine, but sometimes it's like, okay, you gave me enough information in this masterclass, now I'm interested, now I'm ready, now I'm finna go buy the course type shit. So yeah, that's how some of those could be. Like I said, typically those are free, but that's just an example. So another example is books. Start reading books. Like Amazon have so many books, probably like almost any book you can think of, and these, y'all, the books are not expensive. I think the most I've seen in book was probably like $20, and that's of course a hardback. But so many of these books have the option to get a paperback and a hardback, and you could just get the cheaper option, which is the paperback. But whatever your area is, you trying to build expertise in, whatever it is you want to know more about, try to learn as much as you can for free or for low cost, because things add up. That goes back to number one, it being expensive. You can't just keep on buying all these courses and all this stuff. That stuff adds up. You have to get creative with the resources that you have first, and when that becomes not enough, then you break a little bit more bread off and spend some more. So yeah, patience. It takes time to build whatever you're trying to build. You have to kind of remind yourself that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Everything is not gonna happen like that. Everything's not gonna happen on your timeline. Everything's not gonna happen when you want it to happen. And that's something I had to realize, something I had to learn. And once you start getting the idea of reality and grasping reality, it's okay. You just have to take your goals and take reality, and like they need to meet. Like they need to go on a couple dates. They need to like get cozy with each other, get familiar with each other, because that's just how things need to be. For me, it was like, for a while, it was like reality over here in her own lane, goals over here in their own lane. What's up? I holler at you. I don't really fuck with you. But yeah, so make sure you bring those two together, because if you don't, it could lead to disappointment, and you don't want that. Like, you want to always have the most positive mindset when it comes to your business, no matter what. Always be optimistic. If things don't go the way, understand that they didn't go that way for a reason, and keep it pushing. Another thing I've learned so far is, me personally, I have to do one major thing at a time. So right before I moved, well, not right before, but leading up until I was moving, I was getting super overwhelmed. Like, I was getting to the point where I feel like I was a cup and somebody just kept pouring. I was just getting full. But instead of me getting full, I was getting overwhelmed. And I realized it was because I tried to do too many things at the same time. So it's like I had this major I had this major project and this major product. I had this major project and this major project, and I was trying to do them at the same time. And it's like, because somebody's gonna get the short end of the stick. You're gonna be spreading yourself too thin, then both projects gonna end up shitty. You don't want that. Like, you need to take one thing at a time, one major thing at a time. But honestly, if you need to, it ain't even gotta just be major, it can be minor, to really pace yourself and make sure you put your best foot forward and give quality work in whatever you're doing. Because when you try to do too much, especially now working a full-time job, y'all know I was working part-time for the longest. That wasn't a huge concern of mine, because I was working part-time so that I could prioritize my business. It was like business first, and then I go work when I need to work. But in exchange, I was super broke. But that was a sacrifice I was willing to take for a temporary period, because I knew what was next for me. I knew that wasn't going to be forever. So that's another thing. Like, always don't stay in something for too long. Like, do things temporarily that's gonna, first of all, always do something that's gonna get you close to your goals. And if it's not getting you closer, first of all, don't do it, or do it temporarily. And yeah. All right, so lastly, this is a major one. So the last one I've learned while being an entrepreneur, while being a business owner, is distractions will stunt your growth, basically. So when it comes to distractions, you have to make sacrifices. Sometimes they look like losing certain things in your life. Sometimes they look like losing certain people in your life. Sometimes they look like changing up your routines. Sometimes they look like changing up your environment. You just have to make sacrifices along the way. So I'm gonna say it again because I want to put emphasis on this. This is not for like people who just got side hustles, who just selling stuff every now and then. This is for those who are trying to build a strong foundation. Like, you're trying to create an asset. So if you don't know what an asset is, basically it's something that creates money, basically. So if you establish an asset, you create an asset, you purchase an asset. An asset is something that flows in money, basically, whereas a liability is something that allows money to flow out. So if you're trying to build a strong foundation, a business with longevity, like I said before, you can't do what everybody else do. Like, you just can't move like everybody else move. And the quote actually I'm gonna put in for this week's motivational quote is a quote I've recently seen that Jay-Z said, and I screenshotted it, but I'm gonna put it as today's motivational quote, so make sure you take a look at that. But basically he was saying, people look at you and say you changed, and it's like, after all this work, after all this time, you think I was trying to stay the same? And like, that's the thing, like, when you really got goals, when you really trying to do stuff, and it's not even just business. Like, I'm gonna just give y'all some little life advice real quick. This ain't even just business wise, but it applies to different aspects of life. When you trying to get different results, you have to do different things. That means you cannot do what everybody else is doing. You cannot take the route that everybody else is taking. You have to say, I gotta sit this one out sometimes because I'm going to partake in this instead, while everybody else partaking in this, because they doing that and you trying to do this. So why would you go over here when you trying to do this? You getting further away from your goals, you're getting further away from what you're trying to do, and that doesn't make sense. So distractions, like, and sadly distractions can look like family, that can look like friends, that can look like your environment, that can look like anything that pulls you away further from your goals is a distraction. If it's not helping you go towards your goals, if it's not assisting you go towards your goals, if it's not inspiring you to go towards your goals, if it's not doing anything related to you going towards your goals and it's going the opposite way, it's a distraction. You need to cut it off. And that can be hard, I promise you. I understand, I've been there, I've done that. It's a hard pill to swallow, but you just gotta do it. Like, you just gotta do it. Like Nike at this point, because let me put it like this, and I'm gonna close the video out on this note. This was another quote I recently saw, and it was something along the lines of temporary discomfort for permanent growth. I think that was the saying, and that's so true. Just think about it. Just think about it. Whatever you decide to sacrifice temporarily, because it's not forever. It's not forever. You're not cutting off your friends forever. You're not cutting off your family forever. You're not, you know, doing such and such forever. You just need to put those distractions on a hold until you get to where you're trying to go. That's it. That's all. Drop the mic. But yeah, so I don't want to make this video too long. I know it's about 20 minutes at this point. I hope y'all enjoyed the content today. I hope y'all got some value out of it, even if you're not a business owner. I hope that last tidbit really like put a, what is it, a bug in your brain? I don't know, something saying like that. But yeah, if you stayed to the end, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching all the way through. Subscribe if you are interested in seeing more content like this, or if you are interested period in content like this. You know, give me a little comment, tell me what you think, give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and stay tuned for the next video. I'll see y'all later. Bye.